And we're live. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Whiskey Capitalist Podcast, our second live stream that we got going on.
And we have viewers already right out the gate.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
It says that we have one on YouTube and one on the Facebook, which is awesome.
Great. Yeah, guys, you can always comment, and we'll be able to throw your comments right up there on the screen as well. Everything's looking pretty smooth right now, so I'm looking forward to this thing we're doing something good here, Ian. It's good for the world.
Yes, exactly.
Or is it just for us? I don't know.
I think it's just for us right now, but what are you gonna do? Yeah, it's just all dick and fart jokes and politics. So
they all go hand in hand.
Yeah, especially nowadays.
Yeah, and I got my bevy this time for sure. Like, because last time I was drinking a margarita, that was so blasphemous of me when we were doing the first episode of the Whiskey Capitalist, and I'm drinking a margarita.
Well, I figured that I would follow up your blasphemy with kombucha.
Oh, well, that's delicious. Yeah, so
it's good. What is it? Summer snow cone?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, it's backwards. I have my camera flipped. Sorry, guys.
Well, it's whatever. It's because it looks like. Well, I'm not talking to the back of your head. I'm kind of looking straight on, but yeah, it's all good. Now, kombucha is good for the gut. Yeah, I always endorse that type of stuff. I appreciate a regularness. Regular is good.
Oh, I'm regular. No, it's the wife is on the paleo diet and all healthy and stuff like that. So I figure whiskey every once in a while, kombucha most of the time.
Fair enough.
Maybe we should have called this the Kombucha Capitalist. Alliteration.
That has a better ring to it.
Yeah, exactly. We might need to
this opportunity.
Damn it. Yeah. So let's get into the the fun.
Yeah, we got lots of topics for today. I think you should probably start off this one because I think you want to start off with Hulu, I believe, right?
Yeah. So let me see real quick. Let me pop this open. So let me share that screen. Oops. Boom. Cool. Share the screen. There we go. All right. So from timcast.com, we have Hulu reverses course and will now air political ads following social media firestorm from Democrats.
Already, I just want to like grunt and just be like, oh, Jesus Christ. Why?
So, cheers.
Well, I really wish these I know, cheers, but like I'm drinking the Evan Williams. We were talking about Evan Williams last time a little bit, and nice. So this is the Evan Williams honey, which I honestly to me is like fantastic after dinner. I love this stuff. I'm not like even endorsed by them or anything like that. I thoroughly enjoy it. As like
if we got an Evan Williams sponsorship, I would be stoked. That's literally what we served as our whiskey at our wedding. So awesome. Yeah, I've been all about that EDub for a while.
Anyway, I don't mean to divert us from the topic here, but I really hate the fact that these like streaming platforms feel like they have to be like soapboxes for political stances, when in reality it's just do your one purpose. Your one purpose is to provide entertainment. Be like a hub for us to be able to go to and like see like entertainment of some sorts, whatever it is we're into. If it's horror, drama, this and that. I don't come to Hulu or Netflix to go and get my political commentary. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, so it's kind of like TV, but it's a streaming service. I'll say Hulu does have the ads, so it is kind of like TV. So I mean,
yes and no. No. I mean, like, if you get like the basic plan or whatever, like, yeah, you're gonna get ads. You're gonna get a bunch of ads or whatever. In which case, yeah, you're subjected to mainstream media, and you're gonna be subjected to whatever they want you to kind of be exposed to. But like when it comes down to like, you could pay more. This is what they're getting at. They want you to pay more, so that way you don't have to see that bullshit.
Well, I mean, to be honest, there's a lot of the commercials that are on Hulu already are just kind of like, what the fuck? But which I'm guessing is probably TV as well. But yeah, they lost me when they changed Jake from State Farm.
Ooh, yeah, that was a big one. That was a big one for sure.
Okay, so this isn't like the Streisand effect, right? Like I remember he was like a fat white dude, right?
Yeah, that was the whole joke. The whole joke was the fact that he was just like this like really normal blah looking dude that sat behind a desk like, I'm wearing khakis. And
dude, how triggering was that? So they said it's a guy.
Well, it was a white straight male, or
how do you know it's
white or straight perceiving, I guess, you want to put it that way, because like even though there was no wedding ring, there's no like, or I don't know, maybe there was a wedding ring, I have no idea, but like that shouldn't even tell you whether or not the guy was straight either. There's nothing saying what this guy's sexual orientation was, but they said straight white male behind a desk, and like this is the guy that's gonna go and like try and sell us insurance. Absolutely not. We need to diversify. And then that's when they kind of like they switched it out, and they had like the young black guy become Jake from State Farm, and then everyone's like, wait a second, what happened to the Jake 1.0? Like now we're at Jake 2.0 already. How do you not know that he wasn't just a bear?
How dare you?
Got him working.
Yeah, no, I know. I don't know. I couldn't really fit. I couldn't peg him as a bear. But yeah.
Okay.
Come on, man.
So that there's been plenty of people that I've talked about. I'm spitting everywhere. There's been plenty of people that I've talked to that don't understand the terminology of what a bear is.
Yes, I am aware, because I have a funny story, if you will, where we'll get back to the story, but this is what we're doing. We're sharing stories. My wife and I booked a cruise the one time where we were going through the Virgin Islands and stuff like that. It was like with like travel cruise group or whatever like that, and like they booked the whole thing. It was a whole bunch of us from like the area all going, so we all kind of knew each other already, so which made it even more fun because like you know you're at the bar till like 4 a.m. You know, and like the bars on like the hotel or on the cruise liners, they don't close. They just keep going till like 6 a.m. And then like there's a window maybe like from 6 to like 11 where they restock.
They can like clean up the puke and, you know.
They clean things up and then they restock, you know, but like for the most part, like they're always open. Well, we're there and we noticed that there was a bunch of like really like big, like muscular dudes always walking around like the pool. And like everywhere we went, there was always like these like, I don't know, chubby, kind of like really, really flamboyantly like gay guys that also hanging around like the bars and stuff like that as well. So then we kind of put 2 and 2 together and like we're like, I think there might be a gay group on this cruise as well or something like that.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't until my wife and I were in the theater seeing like I think it was a comedy show or something that was going on like at the one end of the boat, and we got seated next to like this gay couple, and we started talking to them, and like, oh yeah, honey, you're on a bear cruise, and we're like, oh, we are, like, is that what this is? Like, oh, they do a lot of those. Like there wasn't just one, there was like several groups.
Yeah,
like on it, and there's like several groups of like bear, like I guess like associated groups, like
so
all
then you're like
together.
I am immediately shaving my beard and running on the treadmill right
well, no,
fucking
because
now.
like, they were like, honey, we know you're straight, we can smell it a mile away. I'm like, okay, well, I don't care, no one's gonna fuck with me, I'll have a good old time. I mean, I thought they were fucking funny, but like
yeah, I mean, it's so funny because like people assume that like, oh, you're not the thing that I am, so you like hate me, and like, no, I know you're pretty fun. Just don't be a fucking asshole. Like,
yeah, no, you can have so much fun with everybody on the cruise as long as it's all good personalities and everyone and no one gives a fuck. You know, that I think that's the best part when people do not give 2 shits about like just whatever the fuck you're into. It's like, yeah, okay, whatever, like fuck off, like, you know, and like that to me creates better personalities, better like encounters with one another and stuff like that. Because then like, no, I don't give a fuck what you do in your bedroom, good for you, you know, like whatever gets you off, but at the same time, let's have fun, like let's all go out and do shoot the shit,
as long as you don't get off on me, near me. No,
well, yeah, you know what I mean, you know. All right, you're taking it a little too literal there.
Well, yeah, you know, the dick jokes. No, but right. It's like, dude, like as long as you can. Because with me, I'm like, I got a sense of humor. I can joke around about shit. And as long as you can joke around with me and realize that I'm just fucking with you and like we're just fucking around and like that's not like fucking.
We're going to get along great.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we'll all get along great.
Exactly. Just, that like the amount, like when I worked in a gay bar, there were plenty of like gay dudes that were my friends and a couple of them tried to hit on me and I'd be like, no. Like,
yeah, you draw the line and you're like, I'm not into that. And they're
exactly.
Okay, they move on.
Yeah. And then the ones that were like, all right, cool. I tried, I was like, cool, man. I appreciate it. Like, thank you for the compliment, but like, not going to happen. I am completely straight, but we can still be friends and joke around and talk shit, like whatever.
Fair enough. Well, let's get back to the Hulu article since we're going on this massive tangent.
All right. So, yeah, but like, I really don't got a problem if they have both sides of the like political ads. It's fine. You know what I mean? Like,
or why have any? Yeah, if you're gonna have one, have the other as well, for sure.
Exactly.
Like that, because I remember as a kid being like, seeing like daytime TV, they would always show like kind of like a left and then a right, a left and then a right, and it's like so and so said this, and it's always like black and white with like a red like font, like they're a criminal, they didn't believe in this, they don't believe in your right for this, and so then they always kind of like flip it around that way. Now, if like the following ad was for the next person, I endorse this message, and then that's all right, that's okay if it's like one then the other. But like for the most part, that doesn't happen anymore. Basically, a lot of people on the right aren't as active on social media and stuff like that anymore. They've kind of all formed their own little pirate ships and have gone off onto like different things like Telegram and like whether it's like Getter, or they end up going on like OAN or Newsmax and stuff like that. So like they kind of all took off, and that they're no longer trying to get on like Facebook or like Twitter and things like that because they don't want to deal with the bullshit that goes along with it.
Yeah,
so like I imagine that a right-wing guy trying to get on Hulu at this point, like to place an ad, is going to be next to impossible.
I mean, Hulu is like Disney and ABC and like all that stuff. So I mean, it's So all right, and we have a comment here.
Oh, bring them up. Bring up them comments.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. I don't know what that's in reference to.
That might be in reference to the gay shit.
Yeah. I mean, I'm guessing that that's probably what it is.
So wait, so every time we talk about that, I just bring up this comment. So it's like, this is a disclaimer. Nothing, there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah, no. So Trevor, if you want to kind of let us know what you meant by that, then we can, I'm not going to endorse it or not endorse it just quite yet. So anyways, all right. So I don't trust y'all yet. I don't know our audience yet.
Well, I know Trevor, but he no, it's fine. Let him earn your trust.
Comments are delayed. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, I had a feeling. You know what? I might be able to change that up real quick. Let's see if we can.
Oh my goodness, you're gonna try and do live like IT, like tech stuff, like dude, that's a terrible idea.
I know. I'm comments. No, okay. Oh, you know what? Actually, I can. Slow mode. Let's see. 15 seconds should be good. All right, cool.
Yeah, but now you're gonna create this delay for people where there's gonna be this gap.
I think it's like. Never mind. Okay. So anyways, so yeah, I'm a little R-worded right now. All right. So Hulu has reversed course and will now air controversial political advertisements following severe backlash from Democrat campaign organizations. The Disney-owned streaming platform originally had a policy of refusing any ad that takes a position on a controversial issue of public importance, e.g., social issues. But was met. What does e.g. mean?
Maybe like as an example, but I don't know. Like, let me, while you do that, you keep reading. I'm going to look up what EG means as initials.
I figure it's like IE, like as an example. Like, okay, that's what I figure it is.
Yeah, well, I'm getting the definition. Oh, it says it's a thing for example. So I was right.
Yeah, for example, but why right. EG? Anyways,
I don't know.
But the English language is hard. But was
exemplify gratia? It's Latin. It's a Latin thing. Exempli gratia.
Okay.
God, so did you learn something today?
Yeah, them Latinxes. But was met with a firestorm on social media after Democrat campaign organizations called them out for denying midterm ads focused on abortion and gun control. Okay, so I mean it's about what I figured that they would be running ads for, right?
Right.
Okay, so we got a couple. The DCCC, Americans Deserve the Truth About Republicans' Dangerously Out of Touch Agenda on Abortion. I mean, I'd have to disagree with that. So the Senate Democrats tweeted alongside the DCCC and Demgovs. We're calling on at Hulu to reverse this policy that is blocking Americans from getting information about some of the most critical issues in the midterm election.
There should be a parody account that damn govs.
Yeah, damn govs. We're gonna get
damn govs.
Good God. We're off to a great start. The Senate Democrats tweeted that they are calling on Hulu. Okay, so I just fucking read that. Hulu's censorship of the truth is outrageous, offensive, and another step down a dangerous path for our country. Voters have the right to know the facts about MAGA Republicans' agenda on issues like abortion. And Hulu is doing
to throw out MAGA. They love to throw out MAGA as if like it's just like this, like it's just as bad as saying Nazi. Like,
it's like okay, so you're telling me that there are no Democrats or liberals that disagree with or like that agree with what's going on with Roe and abortion things, right?
Well, what I'll tell you is that I've had so many conversations with actual like Democrats where like they like, well, I'll talk with them. I'll shoot the shit with them, and like I'll just kind of test the waters on certain topics and stuff like that. Just kind of see what they're going to say and this and that. And for the most part, they typically agree with me. And to me, that's always kind of interesting. Where it's like, okay, well, you hear You have somebody who's like kind of like fits the whole scheme of like MAGA and whatnot, and then like I go on and say, hey, you know what's annoying? You know, like the whole like the church and state type thing, or whatever. We're like, you know, like I'll be playing at a church, and then they start bringing up like politics at church. I hate that fucking shit. And they're like, oh yeah, absolutely, I totally agree with you. And then like, you know, we have a similar problem where church is getting too involved in our state. I'm like, yeah, I might agree with you in certain aspects where like, you know, there are certain states that are maybe pushing things a little bit further than might be necessary when it comes to like Roe v. Wade type stuff. You know, but like, again, these are like states running their own legislation now. It's not a federally controlled thing. So therefore it's no different than like, you know, what well, I mean, like, for example, like, you know, not to say that everything's on the same level, but like, what age can you get your driver's license at? Okay, some states it's 16, some it can be 15, some it's going to be 18. You know, that changes depending on state. Do we flip out about that? Not so much. Do we flip out about like what age you can like purchase like well, and I think it's a federal thing now for like alcohol. It's like 21 across the board. But I think cigarettes might be like actually cigarettes might actually be federal as well now, where that's
21. Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was 18. Did they move it up to 21? Or did I lose you? We lost your audio and your mic kicked off. So I'm going to continue hosting the show until we get Ian to come on back. So until then, I have other stuff I can bring up. And
now,
yeah, wait, I hear you.
Sweet.
I was about to just take over the entire show.
Well, hold on.
I'm kind of retarded.
I understand. Yeah, like, me too.
So no, it's one of those things where it's like, dude, like, yes, there are states that had trigger laws, but there are also like, it's the whole thing that like, that's what states are for. Like they have their own separate laws, like California, which is where I live, which I know is sad as fuck because of the political landscape that we live in. But I mean, you know, there are laws here that I completely disagree with, but I don't want the Supreme Court to like make a sweeping law for the whole country. Like, would it be great? Like, would it be great in theory to have everything that I believe in be just, you know, blanket, whatever? Yeah, but I'm not the only person here. There's 360 other million people here. And I know that we all have different opinions. So that's what coming to an agreement is. And that's what making laws is. It's finding the common ground. And it just seems like there's no common ground with the left.
Well, speaking when you were talking about like you being from California and whatnot, I think that this might be an excellent time to kind of transition over to one of my topics that I had for today.
Yeah.
Which was you're a fucking plague. Mexico City residents want Americans to leave.
Go back to your country.
like, all right, if you're gonna like this article to me cracks me up so much because it's like this is like if it was written from like a MAGA perspective. But like, you know, for Mexico, like,
would it be a mama make? Wait, no,
Mga. Make Mexico great again. So you're a fucking plague. This article is literally all about the fact that so Mexico City, like, I'll read a little bit of it. Like, residents aren't happy with the Americans that have moved to their city and made things more expensive, demanding they leave. The Los Angeles Times reports Wednesday. Now, the thing is, like, they're talking about a certain specific type of American that has moved there. A lot of them are typically these I'm going to say late 20s to mid 30s, single people who work remotely, and they like the idea of living this lavish lifestyle in Mexico where they can't live that in the US. So an example of this would be, I think, a little further down here. Okay, so right here. I'll highlight it. The average local salary is $450 a month. So, and $2,000 can afford someone a penthouse in Mexico City, according to LA Times.
I'm gonna have to have a conversation with my wife.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? Mexico City sounds real good right about now. And the thing is, like, besides like the crime and like, there's so many other aspects of it like that suck. Like the crime, healthcare's garbage. I mean, like you are essentially almost going to like a fancy city in a third world country. Like so, like you have
like all of the things that have to do with like safety.
Yeah, like there's no safety if you go to Mexico City. You like, basically your penthouse apartment became your entire world. A whole new world. We need an Aladdin drop real quick. Like it's like a whole new world. But like that's essentially where everything's going. But like
take off your clothes brings a whole new meaning.
Yeah. No, like I'm saying, like so a kid that's maybe making let's go conservative and say maybe $4,000 a month. Okay, so they're getting like 100. So what does that work out to be? Like $48,000, $48,000 like a month, or I'm sorry, a year, 48,000 a year. Like that's pretty conservative. Let's say 50,000. That's a pretty average salary for like a 28 to 35-year-old or something like that. Now, with getting that type of a salary, you can go and you could go to Mexico and half of your month's income could go to that. Now, everything else is going to be dirt fucking cheap. So $2,000, you are living like a king, like in there, going to like, you can go to all the different bars. I was saying titty bars. You can go to all the different things and you're going to look like a fucking baller everywhere you go, because like a dollar, it's converted to pesos. I think it's like 1,000 pesos or some shit like that. So I don't know the conversions. I'm kind of retarded, quote Alex Jones. And so but anyway, what my point is that like, if you're making like an average to modest like salary, like a starting salary, like you can go to Mexico City and live like a fucking king. So like, of course, like these people who have nothing to them, like there's no relationship, no kids, maybe their parents are gone or something like that. There's all these things, nothing tying them down. They can just go down there and get a penthouse and live the life, like they're as if they were like Elon Musk or some shit down there for like 50 grand a year, and they're working remotely, so they're still getting like a US salary. It's not like they have to work in the US, or I'm sorry, in Mexico. Another thing this article brings up, which might be up early, higher in this, is the fact that there's was a 1,600,000 U.S. citizens currently living in Mexico, leading to the leading destination for U.S. travelers. But like the thing is, when it comes to U.S. travelers, they're also talking about the fact that like a lot of times people travel and just go to the resorts. I was one of those. I've been to the resorts in Mexico. Yeah. They're fucking beautiful, but I mean, like at the same time, you're spending U.S. money when you go there. They know the U.S. currency like conversions for like things, so you're not paying Mexican prices for stuff. You're paying U.S. prices for things.
Well, yeah, and my grandma back in the day, like when I was younger, when I was a kid, her and my grandpa, who passed away probably about 10 years ago at least, but they used to have a little house, maybe 400-500 feet from the beach. I'm probably exaggerating on the closeness to the beach, but pretty damn close. Like it would just take a little walk, maybe yards is what I mean. But yeah, it would be in Rosarito, and like it was a lot cleaner than TJ. Like I'll say that right now.
And another thing is that like a lot of people are coming to Mexico to also like start businesses. So like they're going there and they're utilizing Mexican labor, which is, a fraction of the cost compared to US. So therefore they're able to kind of like jumpstart their businesses down in Mexico City. And like, this is where Mexico's like, we've had enough. We don't want you here. Get the hell out. So like, and also they're saying that in Mexico, U.S. citizen can get a 6-month visa, like essentially right out the gate, if they want to come to like Mexico. Like they're kind of like hungry for it. They know that like with Americans coming, there's going to be an influx of income, like, but at the same time, they don't want to have us just move there and become part of like their city, because they're worried about, I guess, gentrification almost, where it's like everything's going to become very gringo.
Yeah. I mean, but is it only white kids though?
I don't know if it's necessarily just white. I think it's just Americans in general. So I'm not going to segregate this to solely white people. I'm going to say there's probably a good proportion of it. If like, blacks are 13% and Asians are about like 3% of our population, there's a very good chance that it's majority white people that are doing this type of stuff. But who's to say it's not like 13% of the people moving to Mexico are black? I don't know.
Yeah, true. And I mean, if you go to LA, I think the numbers, the percentages of inhabitants of LA it's mostly Hispanic. So I mean, if LA's that way, then why wouldn't Mexico? You know what I mean? Like, let's switch it up.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really care. Whatever, if they want to go there and risk, whatever, and make a better life for themselves if they can, then cool, whatever. But like, I would have the same exact reaction to them going over there as long as it's, legal, just like people coming here.
That's the main thing I think that kind of take away from this as well. It's like, all right, so if people make the legal move to go to Mexico, or like if a Mexican wants to come and legally move to the US, there's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of things involved. In fact, I have a few friends that actually moved to New York City as like they're professional musicians. They tour the world. They play with Karol G currently as well. Like I've played a few gigs with them as well. And like when I was working with them, I talked to them about like when they moved, because like the one's from Colombia and the other one moved from Argentina. Yeah. And so what was that like? What was like your whole transition from like, South America to the US? Like, it's like, oh my God, the paperwork. And they're like, and they were going on about the fact that they received packets that were literally like 500 pages, if not more, of like just shit that they're just initialing and signing and filling out, and like essays and all kinds of crazy shit that they have to do in order to legally come to the US on a work visa.
You mean like essays?
Essays, man. Like I know essays.
I had to, sir.
You can pull that shit off. I can't really get away with that.
Yeah, I have the last name, the Avina. Okay, yeah, this is my buddy Chris. That security system better be American. Some ADT, American DT. Yeah, what's up, Chris? Glad you are a part of this. Thank you for tuning in, sir. Chris actually was the singer for that band Hero and Me when I was out in Austin.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, and then he went and joined Fire from the Gods, and then wasn't in Fire from the Gods anymore. And then he has a band actually right now called Rust, and I did a lyric video for them. So yeah, if you want to go check that out, that shit's awesome. Okay, American half face.
No, it's a salute.
Okay, American half salute face. Is that like half mast? That like
no, it's so that way you get the whole full effect of like the salute with like the face.
Okay.
Because otherwise, if you show the full face, this is a really long emoji.
Oh yeah, okay, I get it, kind of. All right.
I'm kind of retarded.
Yeah, that's definitely me. Okay. Did you still have more on that one?
For that one, I mean, like, not really. We can kind of like put that one on the side for now. But like basically, the whole point is that Mexico does not want us living there just as much as we don't want illegal Mexicans living here. Like, we are like the land of like opportunity, so we don't really turn people away a lot of times.
Yeah,
but it's interesting because like people in the US tend to think that they can go anywhere they want and they can just move there and they're going to be welcomed with open arms. And that's not the case in a lot of scenarios. Even countries as white as like Australia, for example. Like I have a sister-in-law who moved to Australia, and she, in order for her to go down there, besides like the huge packet of papers to fill out for like getting a visa to go there, and she was going there on a partner visa or whatever the fuck it's called.
Yeah,
where, like, you go there because you're engaged to somebody who lives in Australia. So like long story. Anyway, she does that, but then like they also want you to have like $5,000 invested in a bank that is accessible in Australia. So you have to to invest in almost an Australian bank. You have to like have all these like, you know, references and different things that essentially just proving the fact that like, are you really going to move here? Now, here's the thing. She's been there for maybe like 3 years now. And we are just now getting to the point where she might be able to get married. Like they still don't want her to get married. Like it's a whole thing where it's like, yeah, we're talking about a long freaking process, man. Like this is something that's so like crazy to me. But
wait, so you're telling me that other countries are more ridiculous with their immigration laws than we are, but we are racist and we don't want anybody here?
Well, the thing is, like, you know, there's this thing called American privilege where we get we get a lot of privilege to think that we have these rights. And the thing is, like, these rights are not, they want to say God-given, like, you know, a lot of times, like in the US, we'll say these are God-given rights. Okay, well, where did that term come from? God-given rights. That came from our Constitution. You know, because it's
inalienable
people under God. You know, it's like one nation under God. You know, so yeah, as much as people don't want to say like, oh, like, you know, we shouldn't have church and state and things like that. Well, our country was based off of like Christian values and this and that, and like so. I'm not here to preach about like trying to put church and state by any means, but you have to understand where things kind of came from.
Yeah, but it's also,
and then they say this is your God-given right. You have a God-given right to speak your mind. Okay, but that's your freedom of speech.
It also doesn't say what God. It doesn't say Jesus given right. It doesn't say Catholic or Jewish or you know, Christian or Muslim. It doesn't. It just says God given.
So if it said higher power right, you know, like higher power given right, you know, like that would even probably cover all the base. That would probably be the most PC fucking thing that ever came out. If they ever decided we're gonna rewrite the Constitution and we're gonna make it higher power given right, because
amen and a women
politically correct.
Please tell me the whole when they said amen and a woman.
Yeah. Oh, that was the best. Oh my god, that was one of the best. That was one of the best fucking series. Listen to me. I'm getting reports of the FBI right now, and like I'm taking this thing off right. But like, so no, that was one of the best freaking lines that ever happened. When there's an amen and a woman. I used to put that on all of my like. Whenever I would comment on someone's post, I would just at the end it with amen, a woman. Great stuff. But yes, no, like what I was gonna say is like this is actually again another solid transition into the fact that we're talking about American privilege versus anything else. Now, let me bring this up because I want to bring up our whole thing with Brittney Griner because
real quick, I do want to
go ahead.
Isn't it real quick? I do want to say, isn't it funny that Trump said that he was going to have Mexico, you know, build the wall? Well, what if they do? Because they don't want the Americans down there.
Well, if they finish the wall, it's like, we got this.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want you in here.
Get nothing.
The Unga people of Mexico are going to go and they're going to finish the wall. Make Mexico great again. Or caramba. Okay, so I don't know.
You got the Griners?
Yeah. I was about to share my screen. Then you kind of like you almost convinced me not to. I was like, oh man, what's going on? But
no, you're good.
Okay. So yeah, I bookmarked this one. It's like, what? Mexico doesn't like us? Oh man. But then here's this one where it's like, what the fuck? They don't actually they actually think this makes sense. Now, this was like a trending topic today. And like there were some elements I want to get your opinion on as well, because like, so what they're talking about doing is Biden administration is offering to exchange convicted Russian arms trafficker for Brittney Griner. Now, the thing is, they talked about this before a little bit. Like in the initial article, when they were talking about her arrest and this and that, like why she was incarcerated for so long, they mentioned that there was a possibility of doing this. Apparently, if enough people are loud and obnoxious about it, the U.S. government does it. So, and like, you know, we will not negotiate with terrorists, but we will grease the noisy
wheels.
Wheel. The noisy wheel gets the grease. Yeah. So, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken.
Oh, you mean the antithesis to Biden? Because he don't blink.
Well, you know what his name is? A. Blinken. Said on Wednesday the U.S. offered to release Victor Bout, a convicted Russian arms trafficker serving a 25-year prison sentence in exchange for WNBA star Brittney Griner and the former U.S. Marine. Oh, and then this is the part that I wanted to get your take on this. Former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, CNN and Axios reporter. And then the Griner. So like they're trying to get 2 for 1 now. For me, I still say no. For me, I'm at the point where like I know as a U.S. Marine, that's probably a former U.S. Marine. It's probably like kind of blasphemous to kind of be like, oh well, you know, tough shit or something like that. But like, I don't know. Like it's a hard one because we're talking about an arms trafficker for Russia. You know, and aren't they in a war right now? Or is that war still happening?
I'm just so confused. It's like, okay, so hold on. We're supporting Ukraine,
right?
Or Biden is supporting Ukraine, so as a country, I guess we are. And then, but
we're staying united with the current thing.
Yeah, exactly. But we're gonna give Russia, the person that we're against, which would be our enemy, it like, you know, in basic terms. Because of our ally being Ukraine, we're going to give our enemy back an arms dealer. How does that make sense?
That's the part that I always kind of like I can't really get over that hump. I can't get over that whole thing of just like, what are they thinking? What do they think? Oh, and look at this image here. Like this one's like, it's like, oh wow, what an inspiration she is. Listen, like she was a WNBA player, pretty average at that, you know. So if you're thinking about like, you know, somebody
you said WNBA player.
Yeah, so there's boys basketball teams like in high school that can beat WNBA players or WNBA teams. Like it's a whole thing. Like there's statistics on this type of stuff. But like so like Justin, family of former U.S. Marine Paul Whelan, who has been detained in Russia for more than 3 years, says that now there's a little bit of hope after learning the U.S. has offered a prisoner swap to bring him and Brittney Griner home. I can't believe the U.S. is even considering this, but I think this is the one. Oh yeah, I think this is it. Sad it took a WNBA player to be arrested in Russia for a former U.S. Marine detained in Russia to have a chance to come home. Sad how we hold celebrities in high status. Maybe we do some research before traveling to Russia to see what is legal and you won't be arrested. Hey, wow, that sounds like a lot of common sense, doesn't it?
And what the ridiculous thing I think about the whole situation is Brittney Griner has been going to Russia for years and playing abroad to make more money. And so it's not like she doesn't know the laws there. And she brought a vape pen, basically, is what
it was, a tiny vape pen with like 0.7 grams of like THC inside it. And that was enough to go and get her arrested for like over like 120 days at this point.
Yeah.
And like now she's still looking at 10 years in prison for this. Now, as crazy as that all sounds, and we all agree that that is an insane situation to be in.
Well, yeah, because of the laws that we have here.
If it was in the U.S., if it was in the U.S., this would be like, oh my God, there would be the riots in the streets. It would be absolutely insane. Just the shit that was going on. The country would be burning, you know, but like there is a lot of sensible people out there on both sides. I love to point this out that there are people on the left and the right that will all agree. Hey, you gone fucked up. You know, like you fucked up. You traveled to another country and you brought illegal substances to that country. Now, it might not be illegal where you were from, but that doesn't give you the permission or the right to bring that into a country that you don't live in. You don't live there. You are a guest, you know, and just like as a guest, you know, if someone like if their house, like they say, take your shoes off at the front door. Do you go and you bring your muddy shoes on? You sit on that, fuck your couch. Fuck your couch. No, you don't. You take your shoes off. You mind your P's and your Q's, and you are a nice guest because you want to leave the house better than how you arrived, if you can.
Exactly. You mean be respectful of the space that you're in.
Weird concept, right? It's a strange concept.
Again, it goes to that American privilege thing that we were talking about earlier. It's just like we have this what is that? She looks like she could play basketball. Might be a better career move rather than
a Russian criminal.
Yeah. That's good. But it's like, okay, have you seen the new Bill Burr stand up?
I have not.
Okay. Oh, dude, it's so good. He talks about the WNBA.
Yeah, and how great it is, man. It's the greatest. No, he doesn't go on about it. Wow.
No, dude.
Well, I thought he would be so woke because the fact is that he has a black wife and whatnot. I thought maybe like they watch it and they're like, "Wow, babe, this is some of the greatest shit I've ever seen."
Nope. Hold on, Bill Burr WNBA. I'm gonna see if I can find it because it's fucking so good.
Anything else in here while you're pulling that up?
Yeah. I'll try and find something.
Kremlin says no agreement yet. Let's see here. Russia met the proposal to free jailed U.S. national WNBA player star Brittney Griner. It's so funny that this is like they're absolutely that guy Kevin that commented on it before. He's absolutely right. How insane is it that it took a WNBA player of all people to bring awareness to almost getting a U.S. Marine home that's been in prison over there? How insane is that?
Okay,
I'm
gonna get. All right, let me throw this up there. Okay, cool, sweet.
I got it.
Oh, you do.
I'm helping.
Dude, look at the WNBA. Dude, nobody in the WNBA got COVID. They've been playing in front of 300 to 400 people a night for a quarter of a century. Not to mention, it's a male subsidized league. We gave you a fucking league. Where are all the feminists? That place should be packed with feminists. Faces painted, wearing jerseys, slashing their titties. Fucking nuts, like the guys do. In the upper deck with their big beard titties. Am I on the Jumbotron? Am I doing it? None of you went to the fucking games. None of you. You failed them. Not me. Not men. Women failed the WNBA. Dude, look at the WNBA.
So
you're absolutely right. Like women absolutely failed the WNBA. It's 100% true. And like it's funny is like one of my friends who's like very very liberal. He was going off before, and I read one of his comments. I was like, "Damn, dude! Like you almost sound like as close-minded as I am." Where like. Yeah. Like this guy who's going off about the fact that why does the WNBA suck so much? Well, it's like there's so many aspects of where like the women aren't very good players, and so then that doesn't generate money, and then there's no sponsors. If there's no sponsors, there's no income for it, and like then they don't get advertised on TV because there's no sponsorship for the entire thing. So it's really like if the talent pool is very shallow, then like there's no drive for people to go and see it. It's like, why do you think like people like LeBron and like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, like went and they filled fucking stadiums, and like for people who don't even give two shits about like the team, they wanted to see those people play because that's like a lifetime kind of experience of seeing somebody who's that fucking good.
It's the patriarchy, dude. It's the patriarchy.
You're right. It must be the patriarchy. Or it has nothing to do with the fact of skill level.
It's absolutely ridiculous because it's like just like any other job, if you exceed at your job, you will get paid more, right? And then more opportunities will come to you. It's
weird how that works, right? So if you do better and you get more viewers watching your games, you'll get better sponsors. The better sponsors, instead of like MaxiPad and like maybe it's Maybelline, you're gonna get like bigger sponsors, and like, I don't know, maybe you get Budweiser, maybe you get like a mainstream thing, and the next thing you know, you're on like ESPN.
Yeah, it just. There was one I saw someone talking about what Trevor just said right there, supply and demand completely. But I saw it was like on ESPN or something, they were talking about it, And there was a woman who was on there, one of the anchors or whatever, and was talking about it, how unfair it is, and yada yada, fucking whatever. And she was, and there was a guy on there talking about it, and he actually made some sense. And he was like, well, we got to figure out why it is. Maybe it's just because it's just obviously not as entertaining. Maybe because, the score differential from like an NBA game to a WNBA, like the final score, is ridiculous. And maybe because they're playing on the same height, like basketball rims. And because, men generally are taller than women. Like, it just, in a general sense, obviously there's taller women than there are men, and, whatever. But in generalities, women are shorter than men. And I obviously Brittney Griner's fucking, goddamn Amazon. She's fucking tall, but like,
oh yeah, it's weird. It's kind of freaky how tall she is.
Exactly. And the reason why that is because the norm is not women being that fucking like LeBron, Shaq tall, And so he was like, well, to make it because there's not like a big reason why the NBA has been, maybe not so much now because, Steph Curry and all them, they're shooting threes and, doing all this. But when like, Michael Jordan and Shaq and all they were like doing slam dunks and doing all that's a big, like, it's a big showboating thing. And it makes it entertaining. And like, it's very competitive like that. And it's like, and he was like, well, since there's that entertainment factor that isn't in there, maybe lower the rims a foot or two or something like that, make it easier for them to do that. And then her response was, well, that's sexist, or, blah, blah. And he's like, dude, I'm trying to come up with ideas to help your sport.
To help you, trying to make you more money, make it more entertaining.
Exactly. Because obviously what's going on right now isn't working.
Futurama did a joke about it before. It's like, the WNBA, we thrive on skill and less showboating. Like, yeah, no one gives a shit about that.
Yeah, that's why it's, the final score is like 50 or 60 points, right? Like, I'm not trying to be a dick, but like that, it's the scores are not astronomical like some NBA games, like 120 fucking points. It's like, dude, Jesus, Kyrie, fucking calm down.
I have one more thing to add when it comes to the WNBA thing. So like they were talking about switching up some of the rules and whatnot, and like they're adding a 4-point shot. There's like a more time on the clock for things.
Okay, what's the 4-point shot for? Like, what are they shooting from their titties? Like, what's going on here?
What's that?
Like, what's the 4-point shot? Is like shooting from their titties or like shooting at their butthole? Like, what? Like, what is the extra
probably I mean, it's honestly gotta be, let me see, they're 28 feet away from, the 4-point shot will be marked on the court in 4 locations, 2 of each end of the floor and 28 feet away from the basket. So I mean, like, what, that's almost like a half court, maybe like get somewhere in between 3 and a half court shot. Somewhere along there's got to be a 4-point.
Okay, so you're telling me that it doesn't, like, the scores aren't as high, but you want to get them to shoot from farther back.
Yeah, I don't know. I want to see what's going on here.
Dingleberry Jones says.
I just kept that same positive attitude, like, instead of saying why me, they're saying this is what he want me to do. And
I don't think this is related to the story.
Yeah, and I can't stand that, dude. It sucks too because I'm a Lakers fan and he's on the Lakers, and I fucking can't stand him.
I understand.
Yeah, he was saying, "Oh yeah, well maybe she should stay over there." And my response is like, "We'll trade you for her." Like, I'm fine with that, dude. Like, bye.
Yeah, I mean, LeBron is one of those guys that just constantly is making like all these like gripes with like living in the U.S. Like, oh, it's really that bad? I think your friend Brittney Griner might object to that and be like, "Don't leave the U.S. Stay home." Yeah. Like, it's like it's these simple things that people take advantage of.
Yeah, it's just.
Celebrity status, even if it's like a C-list celebrity, if like a WNBA player, no one knows who the fuck a WNBA players are. If like I met some girl at the bar and she said like she was a WNBA player, I might actually believe her because I don't fucking know and nobody gives 2 shits. So it's very possible that like she was one.
I think Lisa Leslie. I know that name. I think she was a WNBA player, and
you just made that name up.
No, I'm dead serious. Lisa Leslie was
stars you're talking about.
Was a WNBA player, Lisa Leslie, and then yeah, and then and then Cheryl Miller. And the only reason why I know Cheryl Miller is because it's Reggie Miller's sister.
Okay.
And they used to, and Reggie Miller was like, yeah, we used to play, me and my sister used to play basketball, back at home. She used to, fucking annihilate me. She was amazing. She's great and all that. And I'm like, oh, really? Yeah. So I checked her out and I was like, she's actually fucking pretty good, but it's like, it's so few and far between.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't doubt you. I mean, I just don't know any WNBA players. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I met one out at a bar, I wouldn't doubt that if they told me they were WNBA, like, yeah, sure, maybe. Like, who cares? Like, I don't care. I don't care. The people around us don't give a shit. Like, nobody really cares. So it's just an interesting thing to me that that's a thing.
It's like a big deal, right?
Yeah, or I guess it's a status symbol, maybe. Well, I bet you as soon as Brittney Griner comes home, it will be a status symbol. I'm a WNBA player. I stand with Brittney Griner. Do. Loity doity doity. Is that
I just think it's I just think it's funny that that video that I showed you. I just think it's funny that that the NBA had to give them a league. They didn't come up with it on their own. You know what I mean?
Well, sure. I mean, but that's the only one I can think of for the major sports. Is there a women's baseball league? I'm not really very up on my sports. I'll admit that, but
yeah, softball. It's the LGBT league.
What? I was like, I'm going to go and say that's all shenanigans. That's not real. And I don't know if I don't think there's a women's hockey league. I don't think that there's no women's football league. That's for sure. Not American football. There's women's soccer. There's absolutely that. But
and they're not annoying at all.
Yeah, seriously, the fact that one of them became a Victoria's Secret model is just a little insane to me because should we get into all that? I don't know.
I mean, the Victoria's Secret models, I mean, they got a Down syndrome one now too. So, I mean,
yeah, I know. And that's where you're really touching on some touchy subjects because
I'm not trying to say that women's soccer players are like Down syndrome Victoria's Secret models.
No. Here's the thing. When it comes to that one, and here, if we can pull up photos of them, I don't know, Victoria's Secret, what are they called? The Angels?
I don't know.
Models 2022. I don't know. My search history is going to look crazy.
Well, I'm just going to be like, why does it say this?
Down. I'm just going to search Down syndrome. Oh, I'm a bad person. Okay. All right. So share my screen. Oh, I'm going to hell anyway. It's fine.
Just put R-worded model.
Okay. So here we are. If we pull this one up here and we take a gander, it's all right, if you covered her face, you're looking at a decent
well, she got a nice rack.
I know, and God, this is so fucked up. Because
she's got a nice rack. I'm not gonna take.
Yeah, no, and I'm not shitting on that. All right, she looks good besides the clear deficiency.
Trevor, you're gaslighting the Downs community now.
I know, off the rails. I know. I'm really pushing it right now, but oh Jesus Christ! All right, so this is the problem where it's
wait,
right,
okay, go bottom right.
So woke, they've gone so woke. Victoria's Secret has. That and I'm not trying to take anything away from this girl because this is probably her big fucking moment as model, and that's not anything to shit on by any means, but I'm shitting on the fact that Victoria's Secret is using her as a fucking tool to make them look better.
To me, it's okay, so we don't put, go to the picture in the bottom right. It's small and it just,
this one?
Wait, are those? Yeah, no, the bottom right. What's the when you open that up? Yeah, what's that one on the? Is that two different people?
I don't know. Say Sophia Juria. Let's just look her up now. So Sophia Jureo. All right, so this is all just her. Maybe that was her or something like that. Oh yeah, because they bring this one up again.
Maybe one with makeup, one without, or something.
Yeah, it could just be like somehow like they're sculpting her face in the photos or something like that. I don't know. Fans are loving it.
It's about the bathing suits and underwear, guys, not the girls.
You're absolutely right. Unless you're a 14-year-old boy, then it is about the girls.
Yeah, exactly. Before anyone that's
it was like a Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. Those are the stickiest pages created.
Well, yeah, before Pornhub was a thing and internet, like free internet porn, dude, Victoria's Secret models, dude, the fucking Nordstrom's catalog. I don't give a fuck. Like, I in the mail and my mom's like, I need to shop at Nordstrom's. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. It didn't come in. I don't know what happened. I mean, I came in.
That IKEA catalog for 2018. Oh boy, let me tell you.
It's like Michael Scott when he sees the chair model.
Oh my God, yeah.
Oh, she's dead.
I want to find her. I want to find her and marry her. But like the problem with all this is that, like, again, Victoria's Secret is using her as a tool to try and create this kind of like, look how woke we are. We are so inclusive. We include everybody, including people with Down syndrome. And it's like, this girl, like, she doesn't deserve that. She deserves, like, to actually have meritocracy. Like, fact that, like, she's a probably a great Down syndrome model.
Yeah,
model Down syndrome, but I'm saying that, like, you know what I'm saying? You understand?
No, and that's what sucks. Like, being in the climate, the societal climate that we're in right now, is that we have to, like, say different words to, like, but so we don't, but it's like, no, dude, like, that sucks. And it's just, they're only using her for, like, this virtue signaling shit. And like, my point with that was also that, so we have the Special Olympics, right?
Right.
We don't have the athletes of the Special Olympics competing against fucking, what's his name? The fucking super fast dude. He's fuck.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about swimming, I know Michael Phelps. He's really fast.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Michael Phelps or the fucking super fast runner, fastest
Kenyan.
Yes, the Kenyan dude.
Sure. I just want to say he's the Kenyan. I literally just say Kenyan because I know they're all fast.
Yeah, Usain Bolt. There we go.
They train for those Nike sponsorships so they could own their first pair of shoes.
Yeah, but it's like, dude, we're not putting the Special Olympics models against Bolt. There we go. Thanks, Trevor.
Bolt, obviously.
We're not putting them up against, or we're not putting the Special Olympics I almost said models, Special Olympics athletes against the regular athletes, and not saying regular in a bad fucking way, but the not special. You know what I mean? Like, we're not doing that. So why are we doing that with other things? Right?
This is the world's fastest guy, actually. So
I think I see what you're.
Yeah, it's the Flash.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you didn't put Ezra Miller.
I don't know. I just detected the Flash.
Well, you've heard about what's going on with him, right?
No. Why don't you fill me in?
Oh my God, dude. Oh my God. Ezra Miller has I think 4 different physical assaults in the past 2 months. He's no one can find him right now, and
because he's really fast.
Well, yeah, no, but he's like non-binary or one of the whatever, right?
They, them, right?
Yeah, he is. He's a they them. Let me see.
Or these those. I prefer these those.
Should we go to USA Today? Let's go to the New York Post. They're usually funnier.
Okay.
All right. So
throw it up there.
There we go. Of course, it's not going to load. Okay. Oh yeah, that's what he looks like now. By the way.
Oh my.
He's
glamorous.
Ezra Miller has allegedly Ezra Miller has allegedly been hosting 3 children, one aged 1 to 5, and their 25-year-old mother at the reportedly drug and gun-filled Vermont farm since mid-April, according to Rolling Stone. Let me see. They spoke with the children's father, who was worried for their safety and claimed there are unattended firearms laying around Miller's 96-acre property. Video from April that was reviewed by Rolling Stone showed at least 8 assault weapons, rifles, and handguns lying around the living room with some weapons propped up next to a pile of stuffed animals. Oh, so, that's perfect place that you put guns.
Makes sense.
Yeah. And so, yeah, dude, he
looks like the guy from the Umbrella Academy, like Claudio or Claude. Like,
yeah,
he kind of looks like that guy, the real lanky, kind of like the guy who talks to the ghosts. You
mean Elliot Page?
No, not Ellen Page. I'm talking about or Elliot Page, whatever. No, that's a different one. No, Claude from Umbrella Academy.
Yeah, it's I guess like I you're not allowed to say this on Twitter now, but he's been basically like he's basically been grooming kids. Like one of them is now non-binary or whatever has come out.
Oh wow. Yeah,
so it's see,
this is the guy right here.
Oh yeah, okay, I see that.
Kind of looks like that a little bit, a little too pretty. I don't know.
Yeah, especially and that flowery one you just had there.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just an interesting
grooming kids.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I guess Tim Pool got in trouble for that because he was saying because you're not allowed to say groomer on Twitter anymore because it's an anti-LGBT slur, and it's like, wait, hold on a second. So what we're getting at here is we're trying to say that a lot of the LMNOPs are grooming children to become whatever, right? With the drag queen story hour.
What they're doing is they're slowly taking over our language and like what we can and can't say. Where like a month from now, like the term bowling ball might be entirely different from just a thing you use to roll down a wooden alley to hit pins. Like they could absolutely take something so like just irrelevant, like a bowling ball, and now it is a hateful statement. If we started calling gays bowling balls, now all of a sudden that term becomes hate filled, because if you're using bowling ball, like, oh man, I'll throw that bowling ball off my roof, like that. Now that's a hateful statement if that was interpreted that way. So like therefore that's what I'm getting at, where like they can take over language and they can pretty much turn whatever they want into something else, just like how I kind of turned bowling ball into something hateful.
What I mean, what it basically I think is basically the internet's gonna internet, and there was that whole okay boomer, right? And then
even like let's just talk about like the whole like the okay symbol. The okay symbol.
Oh, you mean the game that used to play in fucking
okay? But you see every other photo of Biden on the stand, he's always going like this. And like, oh, why hasn't anybody called him out for that's a white power statement? That's this, that's that. No one's called him out for that. But if Trump was to do that, he goes like that. Now he's like, oh, it's double white power, double the power, double the white.
It's like you mean the game that we always used to play, that if you did that, then you were able to punch someone.
Well, that it had to be below your waist, and it had to be upside down like that, whoop, like that, and like then that was like. But you could also break the loop, and then you could punch the person who did it.
Just poke right in the hole. Just get in the hole. Hot dog down the hallway. No, but it's like But so it started with the okay boomer thing, and then they like took that and said, oh, groomer, because grooming, and like okay, okay groomer, like that's what it was. And then basically it was like a funny like fuck you basically, and then they got offended by it because of the connotation, and then Twitter is saying it's an anti-LGBTQ slur. So basically they're almost like backing up what we're trying to say with it, and then so Tim Pool said it, and he got suspended on Twitter, and he was like, you know what? I use Twitter to like get my message out there. It's not that big of a deal. I'll just take it down. That's what they said. You can have your account back if you take it down. He's like, all right. So he took it down, and then he was like, so I can't say that word. I'm just going to start calling them pedophiles. And so, which fucking fuck around, find out, right? Yeah. And so what Tim Pool has been doing lately is in New York, in Times Square, those huge fucking billboards, like the video billboards that are up in Times Square. Right. He's been doing like a Timcast IRL, like for his podcast. He's been doing ads for him for months now, and it's like a big picture of him, and then Timcast IRL, whatever little ad. and then like a couple different ones for his crew and the people on his podcast. And then he also has this, I think it's called like Chicken City or something like that. Chicken City. It's another channel that he has where it's literally just about all the chicken coop that he has and all the, Chicken Whisperer would probably like that. But yeah, so it's just basically, he has like a surveillance or not surveillance, but like 24, closed caption or closed circuit cameras and whatever going. And
closed captions for the chickens.
Yeah, exactly. For the chicken impaired. And so he's had it for a while. So then he was like, oh, dude, I'm going to put up a picture of one of our roosters, like the one that everyone likes or whatever, and put it on there. So he's like, yeah, so I have a 60-foot rooster of mine in downtown. So he's like kind of playing on that joke. And he was like, actually, instead of me just putting up ads for Timcast, what I'm going to do, and I already talked to the ad agency and they don't really have a problem with it, talk to lawyers and they don't have a problem with it, is what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put up Twitter supports pedophiles, which that's going to be spicy.
Yeah. I'm interested to see where that goes for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
It's crazy because the whole term like groomer, like that was a play on the whole okay boomer, obviously.
Yeah.
And then like it turned to like okay groomer when people like especially like shitty parents in like the like I would say California, sorry, but like where they were taking their kids to drag shows and stuff like that. And like the thing is like they're taking these young children that should not be exposed to this stuff to them. And typically these parents will always come around and they'll be like, well, why shouldn't the kids be exposed to this? Shouldn't the kids be exposed to different types of sexuality and different types of like gender, like I guess expression and stuff like that? And the biggest argument to this is obviously like, no, kids are not sexualized. If you see like young children, like ages like 5 to 10, they are not sexualized at all, even up to like even 12 or 13. Sometimes they're not sexualized. They don't view themselves as a sexual being. They don't think about those types of things a lot of times. Now, like it gets questionable, like from like 12 to 13 on and stuff like that, because of puberty starts kicking in and all that type of stuff. But like even at that point, when they're questioning, like, what's going on with my body and this and that, you don't want to introduce these like really extreme things, because just like how like in politics, there's this bell curve of intelligence where there's the extreme right, there's the extreme left, and then there's this like bell curve in the middle of where most intelligence lies. And within that bell curve is kind of like your normal sense of expression and stuff like that, whether it's like I'm a little bit more left, I'm a little bit more right, this and that. It doesn't really make too much of a difference. But like on like a sexual spectrum, and like whether how like straight or how gay they might be. Now, like when you really get into this type of stuff, like the extremes are like when you start exposing them to like these like really ridiculous scenarios, like the San Francisco like parades and stuff like that during LGBT, during Gay Pride Month and whatnot. Pride Month, what they call it and whatnot. And like for that, where there's like guys walking around completely naked, absolutely disgusting. Secondly, there's also people going around in bondage, like with leashes and whips and shit like that. Like, why would you expose children to these extreme elements of sex and like just sexualization period? Like it's so like, unnecessary. When the kids should just be like I don't know, doing what kids do, playing freeze tag and fucking like having like sleepovers and like I don't know, like just eating a whole pizza in one sitting. Oops, my bad. Doing like goofy shit. Like that's just what kids are supposed to be doing. But instead, we feel like, or especially now, like kindergarten teachers and like, especially if you go into the whole libs of TikTok type thing, all you'll do is you'll see nothing but teachers going on and on and on about how they express their sexuality and explain their genders. Like that's a whole other thing. Explaining that shit to kindergartners and first graders and preschoolers. I'm like, you're talking about early education. These early educated children have no desire or need to learn what you do in your bedroom to validate yourself, because that's all it is. These teachers are validating themselves when they talk to children about themselves and what they do in the bedroom. They didn't get it from home, so now they go to their job where it's other people's kids and they say, hey, this is who I am. You want to love me because I want to feel loved by somebody, and like that. This is what the whole thing, they start flipping it like that. And it's absolutely disgusting. And that's what Libs of TikTok has made, like, like 1 million something subscribers, maybe more subscribers at that point now for the, like, it's just insane. But like, that they, all they do is they shine a mirror on the left and people fucking freak out.
Well, they don't even really say much. They just like put the video up and just like let them speak for themselves, and which is great. And hilarious.
That's all you have to do.
Yeah,
that's
that they don't
all
even
you have to do. And I swear to you, it's the most insane thing. The fact that Libs of TikTok doesn't really have any hot takes about anything. All they do is they shine a mirror on the left, and the left is like, oh my God, you can't do that. Wait a minute. You posted this video publicly for people to see.
Yeah, exactly.
This isn't like a secretive thing that you hid from the world. You put it out there in the world for people to see. So by Libs of TikTok sharing it, you should be like, oh, well, thank you. But no, instead, they're not like that. They're like, don't share my stuff. Oh my goodness. Why do you want the world to see me like this? You wanted the world to see.
One of those things where it's like, dude, do you know how the internet works? You put something out there, then that means that people are going to comment on it. Just like us doing this podcast, just like us being who we are and our opinions. If someone comes up to us like, hey, we have your opinion and talk about it. I'm not going to get mad at you for saying that you think we're racist, fascist, like whatever. I don't care. But like going back to the thing about the, drag queens being, the drag show, whatever. It's like, dude, I don't think fucking kids should be in Hooters. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's, it's a lot less than, someone walking around with, fake tits and a dick.
There's a rite of passage when it comes to that. For example, the first time I ever went to a Hooters, I was 16 years old, and my dad brought me there with one of my close friends. Like, we went there, and it was like a day trip or something like that. We went to like Dave and Buster's, and then it was like in Philly, I think. We went to Dave and Buster's and like, let's bring the kids to Hooters. I'm like, oh, cool. So like, that was like for like my birthday. Like we went there, and I was like, oh, that was pretty fun.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're getting all the spit off your lip and whatnot on your chin. It's
like, you're like Michael Scott. You're like, can I have the chicken breast sandwich? Hold the
chicken.
And
of course, like the girl turned like on all of the charm because it was my birthday. She's like, I'm so glad you guys are here. You really guys are like really cool. Like the whole
bending over and
the whole raisins thing. From like South Park.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you guys are here. You guys are like really cool. Everyone else here is so lame.
it just gets to a point where it's like, dude, that's the whole point of like what grooming is. Like, that's not even just talking about what, like, just in like a sexual way. That can be grooming someone to become a baseball player, grooming someone to become an engineer, so it's like but it can be used in very nefarious ways, and anything having to do with kids in a sexual manner is fucking disgusting.
Well, it's because like the term groomer was more accepted more so than indoctrinating, because like indoctrinating was being used for a long time before groomer became like the hot button word.
Yeah.
So like for example, they were indoctrinating kids early on when it came to like Hulu and Netflix with like for example, like Cuties. Yeah, Cuties was like one of those shows where it was a bunch of young girls twerking, like you're talking about like preteens like twerking on stage, and that's like that was like a whole thing for them, and like that was indoctrinating children.
Yeah, it's just gross, dude.
Well, the funny thing is that I actually was on a podcasting network before, like sipping with Shawn, my show that I still do like solo and whatnot, that I was invited to go and be on another podcasting network, and I brought up the fact that like they were indoctrinating children into like Netflix and this and that, and I got kicked off like the next day. Like,
Yeah,
I tuned into your live stream and I did not like what I heard. Oh, because are you for that? Are you for the things that I talked about?
So you like kids? Are you a map?
Yeah. That was kind of my point. It's like, so I asked them, what didn't you like? And they're like, well, I didn't agree with some of the things that you said. So what thing didn't you agree with? Is it like, the thing about like the indoctrinating children? Like, are you for indoctrinating children into this type of behavior? Oh, no, that's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that I didn't agree with some of the things you were saying. Oh, well, okay. If you feel that way, then, you can feel differently. That's totally fine. We'll go our separate ways. I was just curious as to what you didn't agree with. And they wouldn't come out and say it because they don't want to be entrapped into admitting that they are for indoctrinating children into this type of behavior.
It's weird. It's just like all you're doing is asking a basic question, and like,
what didn't you like?
And now, anything short of them saying, like I did okay, you know what I mean? Like anything I'm gonna be like, hey, that's your opinion, like whatever, man. Like you're allowed to have it as long as you allow me to have mine. Like I don't care. Like,
well, but no, if anybody who says that they prefer to do something like that, like they belong in jail and they deserve a beat down. That's for sure.
Get on the wall and then buried under the prison. That's
just absolutely disgusting that anybody would like even like defend that type of like behavior. Like to me personally, it's like, like I have 2 kids, so therefore like, I'm very protective of like children and my kids. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing that will change your perspective faster than having a kid, and then like you will think totally different about the shit you spray on girls' backs. You'll be like, wow, that's some fucking magic stuff, like, and like you will absolutely like view everything differently. And like, that's one of the magical things about having kids, like where like you get different values and like your values become very deep and like heartfelt. And, for me, it's like, I want to protect my kids from all that type of like nonsense and stuff like that, so like for me, it's like, it's very personal. It feels very personal for me, at least. I don't know, but like it's, when people don't have children, sometimes it's a little harder to grasp it. I'm not saying that people that don't have kids can't have those same values. I'm saying that like, it's probably harder to grasp because for me, it's like, so second nature.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, it's just but at the same time, it's like, I mean, I get what you're saying too, that your own kids, but like, if we are a moral society, we should be able to care about other people's kids as well. So Absolutely. Like me not having kids, I mean, that shouldn't have any diminishing effect on me saying that, hey, like, I don't want other people's kids to get groomed and diddled.
Absolutely. In fact, like in the Telegram group that we're doing, like, which we might end up rebranding that. I think eventually. I think it might be a cool idea to kind of rebrand that into like a whiskey capitalist type scenario as well. But like the Telegram group, like that one, even like there's people in there who don't have kids, but they get so freaking worked up and so pissed off when they see this shit where people
rightfully so.
When they see their these kids getting brought into like drag queen shows and stuff like that, and then the most mind fuck thing ever, where they get brought up on stage and then like they're up there and they're dancing for dollars. You're teaching like a fucking young child who isn't sexualized at all, hey, if you dance around and shake your ass, you're gonna get dollar bills. So like, hey, why not just start your OnlyFans as early as possible?
It's something that like you talking about that, it reminds me of something that Chicken Whisperer said when we were doing the Twitter Spaces this last on Tuesday. Right. He was talking about like the things with watching Final Destination 2 and those certain little things that give you that fear, that remembrance of that scene in the movie, and so it makes you think about something different. It's like a subconscious thing, and you're like, okay, every time you see a logging truck or anytime you see a water bottle that's rolling around the floor or anything like that, like it makes you think about that one thing. It's the same thing like with a kid, and like we've talked about this with teaching younger people as opposed to teaching people that are adults. Like kids, their brains are sponges, so they soak everything up, and they might not understand exactly why this is or what the mechanism that's at play there, but they will remember that. And so they will remember that. And again, it doesn't mean that it's always a bad thing with teaching a kid something, but it's when you're teaching them like to have the complete okayness with someone like stripping their clothes off at all, like in front of them, like that's just that shouldn't be a welcomed thing. I'm not saying, like, hey, there's, sex workers, there's, whatever they do their jobs. I'm not saying that I agree with it. Not saying, whatever they have, they're doing their shit, but that's not a main part of society. You know what I mean? Like,
and just to kind of piggyback off of what you're saying, like none of this is shitting on sex workers essentially when it comes down to like, or even is something as ridiculous as like the whole drag queen type thing. It's like, all right, there's a time and a place for that, and it's adult entertainment where it's gays mocking women. It's adult entertainment, but it's gay men mocking women. Like that's the whole joke of the entire thing. Women go there to get a good laugh, men go to have a laugh and everything. It's meant to be comedy almost in a sense, but some people think of it as so fucking serious and as a serious art form. Like no, you're comic relief at best. And like that to me is like one of the things where like, all right, that's I don't know, I'm not into it, but at the same time I understand why it's there. I understand like it's an allure. I've gone to a few different drag shows and like it's just one of those things where you have a good laugh and then you move on. It's not something to do like, hey, it's Thursday night, everybody, let's head down to the drag show. And then I mean, dude, like when I was in Austin, I worked at a strip club. Yeah, like I was a bar back and a busser at a strip club. Like I had to clean up. I went back behind the stage and blah blah blah. And the men's strip club. No, yeah, exactly. I saw dongs. No, but it was a regular strip club, and when you say a regular strip club, you say it was men stripping. Yeah, regular if we're in San Francisco. No, it was like most of the country, think strip club, and they think it's women, and then I never wanted to work the afternoon shift. But because it was C-section scars. Yeah. But I mean, there as the bartender, if you're the bartender at a strip club, you're not really there for like the scenery, because like I don't know, you're used to it. It's just a job. Yeah, but you've seen them during the daylight and they ain't pretty. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, and honestly, like, of course, I was a single dude, and I was in my 20s, and not that there's anything wrong with that. Hey, everyone's entitled to their own opinion. But no, like it. Like at first, I was, I was a single dude. I was, I was in my, early 20s. So I was like, oh fuck yeah, I'm gonna be around titties all the fucking time. But then after I worked there for like a week, I was like, dude, it's just a job, and it's just like other coworkers. They're just half naked, most of the time. So it's like it becomes a whole different thing. But if you're only going there with your bros and like whatever every once in a while, then yeah, it's a whole different deal. But it's exciting, exactly. And one of the funniest things is I saw. I mean, it's not really funny in the Me Too era, but it's kind of funny because there was this one huge black dude that had this stripper dancing on him, and like she was asking him to pay her, and like ball and whatever or something. It was loud, and so I couldn't really hear the whole conversation, but I like, as I'm picking up drinks, I look over and he fucking nailed her in the face, like just cold cocked back and just knocked her down, and with her 6-inch high heels, just fucking baby deer leg fucking fell over, and like he obviously got swarmed by all the security guards, but it was fucking hilarious. How dare you? Yep. God. And no, dude, I mean, and she was, how it's one of those things where it's like, okay, I think it's Bill Burr said, I know we keep going back to Bill Burr, but he's one of the funniest fucking comedians, and he was talking about, I get it. No, yeah, he's great. But it was like a while ago, one of his specials, like 8 years ago, and he was saying he was like, I don't watch. Excuse me. He was like, I watch, like, I don't watch Oprah because I like it. I watch Oprah with my girlfriend, so I can hear the dumb shit that she says and then take it out on my girlfriend. So like when they say, there's no reason to ever hit a woman, and he's like, I mean, you shouldn't, but to say there's no reason, that's pretty fucking arrogant. Like, he's like, dude, you could wake me up out of a dead sleep and I'll give you 12. Like,
Yeah, he's like, it's like, so obviously she was saying some shit to him, and I think it's become a thing where it's like, okay, I can say whatever I want, and I'm not gonna have any repercussions. And I'm not saying that you should, but maybe we keep our hands out to ourselves and like respect each other when we're fucking saying shit.
Right? No, I'm with you. So, just talking about some of this stuff. I just remembered that like we did an article last time about Turning Point and the Nazis. Remember all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay. So, talking about Turning Point USA, they were doing a whole thing over at a high school in
the Taylor Hanson shit. Yeah.
Yeah, that was in Tampa Bay, Florida. Well, since then, The View talked about the whole thing, and they were talking about how there was all these Nazis there. They were supporting DeSantis, and they were there supporting Turning Point USA and all this type of shit. Well, it just so happens that the View had to make an apology because they called the Turning Point USA a bunch of Nazis.
Yeah, and I remember they had to go on there and say some shit. Do you have the actual video?
Yeah. I'm gonna pull it up here if I can. Let's see if this starts it up.
So on Monday, we talked about the fact that there were openly neo-Nazi demonstrators outside the Florida Student Action Summit of the Turning Point USA group. We want to make clear that these demonstrators were gathered outside the event and that they were not invited or endorsed by Turning Point USA. A Turning Point USA spokesman said the group, quote, 100% condemns those ideologies, and said Turning Point USA security tried to remove the neo-Nazis from the area but could not because they were on public property. Also, Turning Point USA wanted us to clarify that this
because you're going to get sued. You're going to get sued like crazy because Turning Point is full of fucking lawyers. Like you're talking about young conservatives, they're all going to school for fucking law or political commentary. And
it's just like someone saying some shit about Project Veritas or saying some shit about Daily Wire, or you know what I mean?
Don't do it because if you try to paint them as fucking white supremacists or Nazis, you are going to get sued out the ass. I think Gavin McGinnis sued the SPLC for defaming him as a Nazi supporter, and he won.
Yeah, and case. Project Veritas is in the middle of a lawsuit against the New York Times. It's not having to do with any of the Nazi accusations or whatever, but he's in the middle of suing the New York Times, and the New York judges are being like, nope, you can't appeal this. We're gonna deny your motion to dismiss. We're like all these fucking things, and like I don't know if you stay up to date on the Project Veritas stuff, but every time they put out a video, it's amazing to see. Like they're just like, no, dude, like why are you calling us out for doing the same type of journalism you guys used to do?
Exactly. It's the whole guerrilla journalism thing is something that the left loves to use, but they hate getting shit for it being used against them.
Exactly. Well, it's fucking gaslighting, dude.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
Party event. So we apologize for anything we said that may have been unclear on these points.
Now they totally they cut out the part where Whoopi goes and she says, "Yeah, but they invited them in. They invited the Nazis in." And she doubles down once the View made the fucking apology.
I mean, I'm not surprised that Whoopi, would double down on that because she doubled down on the last fucking dumb fucking shit she said when she was saying that that the Holocaust wasn't about racism.
Yeah. Oh, I know. Oh my God, this might be it right here.
Well, also, if you're going to do this, then let's be truthful about it, because the Holocaust isn't about race.
There it is.
No, it's not about race. But it's not about race. It's not about race because it's about man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about. But it's about white supremacy.
Wait for it.
I'm kind of retarded.
missing the point. You're missing the point. The minute you turn it into race, it goes down this alley. Let's talk about it for what
it's like. I swear she thinks that just because it was white people and then now Jews are evidently white people too. I don't know when
they're not. Jews are no longer white people. They are their own race. They are no longer white.
They've always been their own race, and then for a little while they were white people, evidently according to Whoopi, and then now they're so it's just like, dude,
she adopted the name Goldberg. She's one of them.
Just because the color of their skin,
she's one of them.
Just because the melanin or lack of melanin in their skin tone doesn't make them white people.
Listen,
like you know, Japanese
being Jewish it's a religion. It's like it's a religion. It's not a race.
Exactly. It's like
you can be African American or honestly, you can just be black and be Jewish. Because honestly, I've met African people, and African people do not like the term African American. Funny story, real quick. That they don't like it, and a lot of times they don't like it because of the fact that black people in America don't share the same values as African people who come to America, and so that's a big thing right there. Like, so like being lumped together, like when an African comes to America, they become an African American, but like, or they say I'm African or whatever that, but like, you're just American. I don't know. It's just fucking melanin. Like, as you said before, that's all it is. It's just skin tone.
Well, because what it is,
it gets that fucking crazy. Like, where like people start flipping this shit and turning it into like this like deeply rooted racism. And it's like, it shouldn't actually be like that. It's to me, I don't see it like that.
Well, what it is it's obviously it's more liberal or left people trying to have this virtue signal of like, oh, see, I have for minority communities, and I have sympathy, and I'm an ally and all this stuff, because I say Latinx and I say African American and I say all this. Like, but what you're doing is you're not listening to the actual communities, and you're saying that you need to protect them when they don't need protecting. Like, it's actually kind of more racist.
It really is. When you ignore like the group that you're talking about, and you just talk for yourself, saying this is what they like, this is what they need. That's to me more racist than anything. Let's finish up Whoopi's iconic.
Oh no, I honestly, dude, I can't stand her, and I've watched that plenty of times.
Doing it for the viewers.
Okay,
doing it for the viewers.
God, I'm gonna take my headphones out.
Black, white, Jews, Italian, everybody eats each other. So is it, if you're uncomfortable, if you hear about mouse, should you be worried? Should your child say, oh my God, I wonder if that's me?
They start playing the music to kind of cut her off. Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most kids, they don't want to be cool. No, we're living in an era.
And it's just
good luck, Whoopi. Good luck with that.
And it's just funny. It's like, you do realize that a lot of Jewish people work in Hollywood, and they're
of course they find a turning point in USA with Trump.
They're probably not very happy that you're saying some shit like that.
Yeah. And turning points got after a group of Antifa and left-wing protesters showed up, predictably, to protest our event. The event, oh man, I'm screwing up. Then minutes later, the Nazis appeared, and this is what was going on. Let's see.
I should kill myself? Why? Why? Why should I kill myself?
These are your protesters, everybody. Oh yeah, these are the actual Nazis that showed up out there, just random Nazis showing up out there, like with their brand new flags.
It's with the regular protesters. It's like, dude, like, you can see how mentally stable they are, because they're able to have a conversation, right? They're able to answer a question instead of screaming at someone else and saying you should kill yourself. Yeah,
everything turns into like an attack. Everything turns into an attack. Just whatever's going on, because they don't have much to stand on. I can think back to I'm looking through my notifications here real quick so I can find this one thing that this guy did, where I commented something totally like, I don't know, bland, nothing that interesting on Twitter, and the guy ends up calling me a racist scum. Yeah, here it is. I found it. So I'm going to share my screens again. Let's see here. Remove that one. Share. Oh my goodness. I'm figuring this thing out. Bear with me, everybody. Here we go. Because it's like one thing or another. All right. So this was like an article where like this is where somebody on the left attacked me for no fucking reason. I couldn't understand why. Edward has been playing video games since he was 4 years old and rarely sees himself represented on screen. I think a lot of game studios don't think about making a black protagonist, he said, but black people do play video games. A lot of us do. Okay. Fair enough. So it's about a black kid playing video games who feels he's not represented that much or whatever like that. Gamers are the most oppressed group on earth. Rise up, this guy says. Steady 9/11 Truth is his name.
Okay.
I say, yes, rise up off your beanbag chairs. Dust off the Cheeto dust. Slip on your favorite Crocs and let your voices be heard. Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny.
I think I saw this.
It's like nothing like a Reddit American who is bald with a beard and IPA in hand chiming in. Racist scum.
It's like, okay,
racist scum.
It just becomes this thing of, it's like, dude, do you have any other like arguments? Do you have like the ability to have a discussion about what you are triggered by, or do you just have trigger words? Do you just have trigger words that you say whenever you don't agree with someone?
So what was the trigger word in this one? What did I say that was racist? You find the racist term, but Cheeto dust, is that referring to something? I don't know, that I'm unaware of. Beanbag chairs. I think most gamers like beanbag chairs.
I think it's basically, since you're saying something against a black person, but you're really not.
Did I say something against a black person?
Well, but what I'm saying is the main issue, the main article was something about I'm trying to rationalize an irrational person.
Okay, all right, fair enough. So we're gonna see a little like crazy. I get it.
Exactly. So you can only do so much with that. But basically it's like oh, hey Trevor, thank you very much. I appreciate you for joining in. He said he's got to jump. Okay. So but yeah, anyways, no, I think basically they just see, they're connecting these dots of like, oh, it's something about a minority group. Now let me try and stand up for this person to show my virtue, and then anything that anyone says against them, especially if they're white, or even if they're black, if they say something against it, they'll go against them. And it's like it's like these dots that they connect of like, I can show people on the internet that I am virtuous and woke, and then you know what I mean? It's just fucking. It's R worded. Let's just say that, because we're not at 2 hours yet.
Let me continue this by going to the guy's profile here. So he's trader. So obviously must be some kind of Bitcoin kind of guy, and doesn't have like no followers. He's got like 700 something followers. But he's also following almost 2,000 people. So like I don't know what all that means, but. Let me know who runs the streets of Chicago, which I don't know.
Oh, hey, it's Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Beetlejuice, and I don't know who this is. I don't understand.
Chris Bosch.
Yeah, but I don't understand this meme. Is it just like I don't know. I don't get it. Do you know what this means?
Again, rational.
Okay. So there's nothing that makes sense in that one. Okay, we'll move on. My president. Trump tells ESPN nobody's got a no one's gotten to the bottom of 9/11, unfortunately. So this guy is like a big 9/11 kind of guy. All right, fair enough. From the name, we got that. Unfortunately, when asked about criticism he receives about 9/11 families for hosting Saudi-backed golf tour at his Bedminster club, nobody's gotten in the bottom 9/11. So nothing. There's a whole nothing statement there. He's like, yeah, my president. Your president has said nothing in that tweet. Nothing was said at all. He's like, no one's gone to the bottom of it. And then he said it again. No one's gone to the bottom of it. Fair enough. He loves Alex Jones. Seems like you'd be right aligned with us, right?
No, I think that's a tongue-in-cheek statement.
Oh, because he's talking about Sandy Hook.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, yeah, the whole
They are on trial. Just to clarify. You're on trial. I'm not. You're on trial. Okay. You pretend to be a journalist, and you want to look at people like me so you can say you're the good guy. I think you're on trial, though, right? For not having... So, the corporate media is on trial, and so is the red judiciary here. But you literally today are on trial. No, just to clarify.
Yeah, so this guy is totally just trolling here.
And I mean, and to be completely honest, I'm sure there's some things about, because I mean, Alex Jones was, big, on the 9/11 stuff and, against the government and everything. So like, I mean, I'm not going to say that there aren't interesting things about 9/11 that, but it like, it comes up. It's like, I can think rationally about like, hey, yeah, there's some things that seem funny about it. Just like there's some things that seem funny about the JFK assassination.
Oh, absolutely. There's lots of like, if you really start digging into some of the stuff, like especially like I will totally go with this fucking nut job, like this fucking like lunatic troll. That there was a lot of weird 9/11 things that surround the entire event, and like especially with the Pentagon. The Pentagon's the big one for me, you know. But like there's obviously weird stuff when it comes to the towers and this and that as well. Yeah. But like. Like I don't know, like I get it. There's weird shit, but like that's what makes it a conspiracy, I suppose. It's like you don't really know what the story is or a theory. Even it's a theory at times.
Yeah, it just comes down to it. It's like, dude, like I'm like a Pixar. It didn't happen kind of thing. Like if you show me evidence of something happening, cool, I will completely believe you. Obviously, consider the source and who it's coming from. But if there is verifiable truth and facts about things, then yeah, I'm gonna believe it. But if there's also things that are coming out like, hey, this seems kind of weird, why hasn't anyone looked into this? Then yeah, I'm gonna wonder about it. But I'm not gonna go to extremes on trying to put someone down for thinking the way that they do. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. It becomes an issue of like, stubbornness. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to be wrong. And, I'll completely admit when I'm wrong on something, like
sure, I've done it plenty of times.
Yeah. But it's just, I don't think that same sentiment is felt coming from the other side,
Mm-hmm.
But, okay. So the last thing that I have here, let me see. So this guy, Trump calls for convicted drug dealers to be sentenced to death. Execute a drug dealer and you'll save 500 lives.
That's a concept.
Again, I can understand a statement and say, yeah, I mean, on its face, I mean, that's not a completely false statement, but is it very Trumpian? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And again reading something in text and seeing someone say it is a completely different thing. Like reading those text messages that you had, right? Reading those text messages that you had, we read them in the way that we interpret them, but he could have been saying it in a different inflection, in a different way, and it could come across a different way. But with text, it's hard to convey tone.
Sure. Like, well, if I read a text from you and you're calling me a racist scum, I laugh about it. All right, you're funny.
Yeah,
but like,
exactly.
when it's somebody I don't know and they're calling me a racist scum, I tend to believe that they think that I am a racist scum.
Yeah, exactly. And it just sucks because it's like, there, you know, I'm obviously, you know, not an idiot. I know that there is racism in the world, and I know that that's always going to be a part of our world just because we're humans and some people fucking suck. But
yeah, and if anything, I will say my statement, if anything, was gamist, where I it was very like derogatory towards gamers. They get up off your beanbag chair, dust off the Cheetos, throw on your favorite Crocs. You know, I was like, I'm making fun of gamers. I'm not making fun of black.
But what I'm saying is that when you overuse a word, then it loses its meaning. It's that boy who cried wolf.
Well, it's the same thing. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. And it's the matter of saying something like calling someone the Nazi. For example, if you called someone a Nazi 20 years ago, you could be brought to court for that, for defamation of character. That was a legit like threat to like a defamation where you can't call somebody a Nazi. Now, today, everyone on the right is called a Nazi through social media, and no one's held accountable for it. So now essentially the term Nazi has gotten turned into you're a joke. You're a big joke.
Well, yeah, but that's what I was saying. Like it loses its meaning. So when you call someone something so many times, that not what you're doing is not only lying about that or misrepresenting that, but you're also making a lot of people just be like, shut the fuck up, dude. Like no one is going to care about your statements in the future because you're showing yourself to be someone that just lashes out immediately. You know what I mean? It becomes a situation
right.
where it's just where it's just like, dude, like I you know, if I say something that is, there's a difference between saying something racist and saying something racial. Like there's like saying something that has to do with race is something different than saying something racist.
Mm-hmm.
And
I can back that.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like saying something like going off basic statistics, saying that, you know, basically
I'll do it for you. So like saying something like, you know, the highest rate of gun violence is black on black crime.
That's what I was just about to get into. Yeah, like that
is 100% a factual statement.
Well, and it's mostly because it's 13% of the country are black people, and if you take that down to 6%, because about half are men, half are women, so we'll take that down to 6%, and most of the gun violence and most of the crime is committed by that 6% of our country. And I'm not saying that
the country is causing 50% of the crime. Yes, absolutely,
exactly. And so it comes down to it. It's like, I'm not saying that as in like I don't like black people, but I'm just saying like, hey, dude, that's a fact. Like that's a statistic. Like, why don't we take that? Like we were talking about before, where it's like, you know, most of the time liberals go off of an emotional statement, and then they make more statements on that, and more conservatives is going based on facts, and then, you know, making a statement about that. So it's like, if you go at the base level of facts, and then you deal with the problem, and then you deal with the situation, or you identify the problem and then try and come up with a solution. That doesn't mean that you're not sympathetic or empathetic towards that issue or towards the community that affects or anything like that. But it's like, we at least have to be honest about what the facts are and what the evidence is, and then say, okay, now how do we fix it?
Yeah, and I think that's a good point, just for the fact that, like, you know, like, statistics, you know, we use statistics in a lot of different like fields, and we use that to try and determine where things should kind of go and how to, like, you know, move forward when it comes to, like, you know, especially like think about like markets when it comes to like their profit indexes and stuff like that, where they'll use statistics like, all right, so these items are selling much more than other items. We need to order higher inventory of this or whatever. You're still sharing your screen. I don't know if you're intending to do that.
Appreciate that.
And no problem. And so like with all of that, it's like, you know, we use statistics in just about all these other elements of like business and strategy, but we don't want to apply it when it comes to people. And it's like, you know, like this, there's an element to this that needs to kind of like be factored in as well, where we should absolutely be considering statistics. And it's the same reason why, like, you know, at 2 a.m. you don't want to walk down a dark alley by yourself if you're a female. You know, like it's like you don't want to take that chance. Why is that a chance? Well, because statistics show that typically dark alleys in the middle of the night are the areas where you are highly likely to get raped, mugged, or murdered, or any of the different types of outcomes. So, you know, to prevent that, you're taking statistics into consideration. You're taking facts, other things that were already considered by other people into consideration before you make those choices, you know. I've talked to people about this before, like where I have a close Hispanic friend of mine where, you know, and he tends to think,
you call me a close friend. That's awesome.
Well, believe it or not, I might have more than one.
Wait, hold on. You have more than one Mexican friend? I mean, Latinx friend?
Latinx. We'll call him Latinx.
Don't ever fucking call me that.
I think he's a PR.
Well, that's Latinx. I mean, I guess.
Yeah. They all fall under the same umbrella. Well, like, so because all of you are the same, right? You're all the same.
Exactly. We all own bodegas.
Bodegas.
Like you, you. What? Why would you say it that way? Fucking. We're almost at 2 hours. I can almost say the R word.
Almost. Well, when I was talking to him one time about this exact same topic, where I brought up the fact about like going down a dark alley and stuff like that, dude, that's racist. You can't say that type of stuff. Really? Okay, so what are you doing at 2 a.m. when you're walking down an alley by yourself, and then you see somebody, a dark figure, come in the same direction, the opposite direction, like right at you, and something? What are you going to do? Well, I'm going to get out of that alley. Why? Why are you going to get out of that alley? Are you saying that guy is going to try and rape you or something like that? And it's like, well, I don't know. It's like, it doesn't matter what race the guy is. He could be black. He could be white. He could be Hispanic. Could be whatever. It does not matter. Statistics will show you that's a bad place to be at a bad time. You don't want to put yourself in that scenario. You know, typically stick to the street lights if you can. You know,
and what usually hangs out in an alley? Meth heads.
Oh yeah, well that's a whole other thing that you are far more familiar with in California.
But
we don't have a ton. We have some meth heads for sure here in PA, but like not enough to say it's like a regular occurrence. We have a lot of like unfortunately, it's a lot of opioid type shit where we have a lot of heroin addicts.
I'm just saying fucking drug addicts, meth, crack, what, you know what I mean?
I've seen the videos of like San Francisco and LA and all that type of shit where like your streets are ridden with human feces and just the drug addicts.
Oh, dude, in San Francisco, there's an app that tells you where there's fucking shit on the ground.
Yeah, like human feces, you can avoid it. Because it's like basically like a Waze app, and it just like plots where all the human feces is.
It sucks to, like, luckily I live in a more conservative area, in a nicer area, so I don't have to deal with that really. I used to live in San Diego and whatever, and then, you know, when I lived in Austin too, but, you know, being here in California, I used to live in San Diego, and when I was in bands, we'd go up to LA and go to Hollywood, and it wasn't as bad, like Skid Row shit, you know, any of that. Now it's just fucking tense everywhere. But like here, it's not that bad. We'll have a couple every once in a while, and most of the time, it's like you can tell the homeless because they're crazy and fucking yelling at themselves, right. And so it's a lot easier to pick them out. Like, dude, in San Diego, it's like, are they, or do they just skip a shower for a couple of days? You know what I mean? Or are they just a hipster?
Hard to say anymore. Hard to say.
Exactly. But yeah, man, I think I am good on this one. I gotta do some dishes before the wife gets home. And yeah.
Did you have anything else? What a good hubby.
Yes.
What a good hubby.
I'm the house husband. Did you did you have anything else that you wanted to add?
No, I'll do some quick little plugs for some people real quick. The fact that like every Monday night, unless we state otherwise, it's either going to be Monday or Tuesday night, where you're doing a Twitter live space. So you can follow Ian or myself, or if you really should follow the Whiskey Capitalist podcast, which is just Whiskey Cap Pod.
We got it here at the bottom right there.
Yep, you can see it right there at the bottom. And just follow us over there on Twitter, because that's where we're going to be hosting the conversations and whatnot. And the conversations are literally anything. It's like about an hour long, and we're doing it right before we go live on like here, what we're doing right now. We'll go live for another hour after that, doing like the live stream and stuff like that. So, and then we're also trying to do 2 live streams a week. So we got this one, and then we also do the one with the Twitter space as well. So we're inviting you guys to be a part of the conversation. Come and join us and share your thoughts and opinions. And also, always leave a comment, like whether it's just saying, hey, thanks again, guys, or like, hey, I can't stand your opinions or whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, leave us like a middle finger emoji. Doesn't matter. We'll throw it up on the screen, just like how
don't call us racist.
Yeah, just like Trevor threw up lots of stuff today for us, and we had Chris Martis. He was throwing up some things for us, So like, I'll leave this one up here right now, and so like just like that type of stuff. Say hi, let us know you're watching, and be a part of the conversation and what we're doing as well, because then that's going to direct us to other topics as well, because this is all like unscripted. We're just totally doing it live off top of our heads, and I think that makes it way more fun and more interactive for sure.
Yeah, and I think now that we have a couple under our belts, just the 2 of us, I think at some point it would be fun to have the Movies America dude join in, or, a couple of friends that I have and whatever, we'll have them join in on a live stream every once in a while, because there are a good couple of people that don't like Twitter. So they're not.
Yeah, I have a couple of friends who I think would really enjoy coming on here and speaking with us and whatnot. One is a small business owner, and I think she has a lot to offer to the conversation. So I'm going to try and see if I can get her to join us for a live stream as well, which I think will be a blast.
Yeah.
So we're always interested. We're always interested in guests.
Misogynist.
Yeah, we're not misogynist, but I always like to kind of like, I don't know, flex that muscle every once in a while. I was like, oh, kind of misogynist, but at the same time, I appreciate you.
Like, I don't have anything wrong with people. Like, as long as you don't fuck with me, don't fuck with my family who I care about. I don't really care. Like, I'm gonna make jokes about people. That's just kind of the way that I am. But I don't really got a fucking problem, dude. And if you can handle jokes, cool, we'll be friends. I don't care.
That's all it is. It's all about jokes.
Yeah, exactly. Like, everyone can get these jokes, and everyone fucking grow a little bit of thick skin. Like, like for a while there, I had just the chin hair, and everyone called me a billy goat. I didn't say I fucking get offended and be all pissed off. Like, it made me think about it, but like,
it hurt me on the inside.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there was a piece of myself inside that died a little, but like, I don't really care. Oh my God, we're past.
Oh man,
we're past 2 hours. Yes, we did it.
I told you we would.
Bundle of sticks. TikTok, mentally challenged. But yeah, I don't know.
How dare you?
But yeah, I don't know. I think it'll be fun to do all this, and then obviously you got your Sippin' with Shawn stuff on Patreon,
right?
And we have the Til Death Podcast, which is, if you're watching this on YouTube, then you know that that's what this channel is on. But if you're on Facebook or Twitter, head over to Til Death Podcast on YouTube, or to make it easy, let's see if we can do this.
Oh my goodness.
To make it easy, let's do this real quick. I'm going to create a banner.
Real quick. He's going to do it really, really fast now. Go, 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 go.
Yes, I am. To find out everything about the Til Death Podcast, go there. It has all of our links. And if you want to know about all of our Whiskey Capitalist links, go here.
There it is.
And
solo.to / the Whiskey Capitalist.
And if you, I spelled that right, yeah? Okay, cool.
Yeah,
I just typed. And if you want to have any video editing things or anything like that, or anything, go to solo.to / tildeathstudios, and that is my own little thing that I do on the side, along with the live streaming and the Til Death Podcast and all that stuff. And Til Death Podcast is me and my wife, and we just talk about husband and wife stories. stupid fucking shit. We talk about Marvel and Star Wars and all that Disney stuff too, because we're both nerds. And we're actually would love to have the two of y'all on.
I know we've been talking about that. I think that's something that we should absolutely do.
Yeah,
and, I'll get the wife comfortable enough to be on camera with me.
Yeah, exactly. I know that struggle, but yeah. So I think that should be fun. At Ian Till Death on Twitter and Instagram, and then we got at I'm Shawn Cav on Twitter for Shawn over here, and then yeah,
and so like with the Sippin with Shawn stuff, I saw just mentioned like that's on Patreon. It's patreon.com/Sippin with Shawn. I get to do a lot more stuff on there because I'm on Patreon and not on YouTube and all the other nonsense. So that way I can like do movie reviews and I can do things and show trailers and stuff that I really want to dig into, but I can't really do a lot of that stuff because of the fact that YouTube always has the iron curtain when it comes to copyright and stuff like that. So it's a pain
copyright and content and saying dumb things.
So I get away with it when I go to Patreon. And the thing is with me being on Patreon, I've been throwing up free content lately. Like for the past month or so, I've been throwing up free stuff. So you don't even have to be a subscriber to see my things at this point. I have stuff that you should be a subscriber to see, absolutely. But there are things that I'm throwing up now that you can just go and check out for just by passing by the link and going and seeing some of the videos. So that's a whole other thing. But yeah,
exactly right. Wait, why don't we have our display names up?
You took them down, I think.
Did I?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's fine. When you have a banner up, it takes the names down. There we go. We're still figuring out all this shit right now, but I think that'll do it for us. And then we'll catch you on the flippity flip.
The flip side.
Catch you on the flippity flip. So it was a basketball hoop. Okay, see you later, dude. Catch you in a minute.
Later.